gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Turn it up.
Okay.
Good day, Engage family, and welcome to yet another episode of our podcast. My name is Naledi Monene, and I will be your host on each and every other single episode that we'll be having here. And we're glad to have every single person that is tuned in. Now, on today's episode, we'll be looking into the ups and downs of motherhood, being a single parent, and so on and so forth. In today's podcast, I have a very amazing guest, a good friend of mine. Her name is Linda Malatji, and she'll be engaging with us today. Hi, Linda. How are you?
Hi, Naledi. I'm fine, thanks, and how are you?
I'm good, babes. Thank you so much for coming onto the podcast.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, man. So before we get into the podcast, while I was doing the prep for this podcast, I came across a quote about motherhood which says, being a mother is learning about strengths you didn't know you had and dealing with fears you didn't know existed. This is by Linda Wooten. How ironic. Ah, man, and I know that I myself I may not be a mother, but I do believe that there is really nothing that can truly fully prepare you for the lifetime job of motherhood. And with that being said, as I've said, we have Linda today who will be sharing her journey on motherhood. I've already welcomed her, and I just want you babes to just get a little bit into your life. We just want to know you first before we get into, the serious questions, the deep stuff. Can you just tell us about your upbringing, growing up as an only child, how that was like?
Yeah, okay. First and foremost, my name is Linda.
Yeah.
I'm the only child, and I'm 24 years of age. Growing up as an only child, you get anything that you want.
Yeah.
You get anything that you want. You get away with it, everything that you do. Because,
I wish.
Wow, you're the class in the family. So it was pretty much hectic, because my parents were working. My mom is not home, my grandma is not home, my uncle is not home. So I didn't really live at home. I lived with relatives. So I got different experiences from different households, you know. So I feel like I'm just a mixed breed of this one's
different types of cultures and upbringing and all of that.
Yeah.
And do you wish you had a normal setting growing up?
At first I did.
Yeah.
But now I'm okay with what we have.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for what we have because it's beautiful and unique in its own way.
I believe since you lived with relatives, you had cousins, so growing up alone was not lonely.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, now talking about motherhood, obviously we have to track back a bit to where it all started before motherhood actually leading on to motherhood. We know every single activity in life leads to certain moments in your life or to that exact moment in your life, So I want to know at what age did you start dating?
Yeah. I was in high school. Grade 9?
Grade 9? What age were you in grade 9? Between 14,
14,
15,
15,
eh?
yeah.
14, 15.
Yeah.
I remember when I started dating, my first boyfriend was in primary school, I think grade 7, Well, it wasn't a real one. I had to learn the hard way that stay away from boys.
Yeah.
Because the first relationship that I was in, it turned out that it was a truth or dare type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Meanwhile, I thought this guy liked me. Can't see he was playing truth or dare with his friends, and they're like, "No, we dare you to go and ask me that." So he comes, hi, how are you? Good, chap. And then he asked me, and I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll be your girlfriend. Everybody was doing it in primary school at the time, and it only lasted a week. I remember it lasted a week. I remember I don't know how I found out that he only asked me out because of a game. And then I confronted him and he's like, yeah, this is what's going on. I'm like, well, we can't be together because it's not genuine. It was gay.
Yeah.
And then he was honest about it. Well, no, man, it's fine. I'm not hurt by it. So I know people start dating because of peer pressure, because maybe friends are doing it. You know, when you got in your first relationship, was it because you wanted to, or because other people were doing it, and when that one guy came, your friends were like, yeah, go for it.
It was peer pressure, you know.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I grew up as I was skinny. I didn't have that much of self-confidence.
Yeah.
I was very doubtful of my presence and how I look. So, also my relationship lasted a weekend. So I don't know. I don't know what was happening.
Yeah.
I was the quiet girl in class. So I think that guy, I don't know what happened there. Just wanted to see if I can, you know.
Liven up.
Yeah, so he came to me and then he asked me out, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do it. But Monday, it was
That's a different story.
He has another girlfriend who's hot, and I'm like, okay. So that crushed me in a way.
Man, we learn through life. Relationships are a mazza. Relationships are a mazza, man. But we learn the hard way. We learn as we go. Everything in life is a learning curve. Ne?
Yeah.
Leading on to motherhood and pregnancy and whatnot, we're now getting into those deeper questions. So if you're listening to this with kids, please stop. How old were you when you learned about sex, and how old were you when you started being sexually active?
You know, grade 7, they introduce us to such topics, right? So it's a matter of, it was just that thing I knew from primary, but like as you go into like boarding school per se, people start talking things like this and this and this. They get deep detailed about it, and I was really not fascinated by it. I was actually scared.
Yeah,
I was actually scared because people would be like, it's painful. I'm like, I hate pain, so don't associate with me with such things, you know? So I started becoming sexually active when I was in grade 12.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, wow. Kudos, okay? Grown-up people, we waited. Please stop until grade 12.
Grade 12.
Did you have that sexual education at home as well?
No.
Yeah, I remember mine was weird too. Mine was weird. I wouldn't even explain it, but it was weird. You know how weird parents can be. So you were in metric. Was it also a decision that you made by yourself, or was it pressure from friends, from the relationship? What was going on?
Most definitely, it's pressure from the relationship. You know, when you've been with the person for almost like 3 years, and you just feel like, oh, this person has been waiting, so why not? You know, and it just happened.
And if you were given the opportunity to change that, would you?
I would. Most definitely.
Most definitely. So don't be pressured by boys, people. Do not be pressured by boys. That was matric, so probably age 16.
No, 18.
18, 17, yeah. You're not 16. Why did I say 16? 18. At least you were an adult. And the year that you fell pregnant. How old were you?
I just turned 21.
Oh, wow. She was an adult. Again. Adult decisions.
I just turned 21.
And how did you find out?
Guys. Okay. What happened? Okay, I was in a relationship with a guy. So he kept on saying, I want a kid. And I'm like, it won't happen now.
Yeah.
You know? So he, obviously like was sexually active. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, it won't happen now because I was on birth control.
Yeah.
You know? So he told me, he's like, nah, you're pregnant. I'm like, you know what he's saying? You know? He's like, you're pregnant. I'm like, no. Sorry for
It's
another
been far
day.
from your mind,
Yeah.
yeah.
So fine, my periods are not coming. I'm like, okay, I know you're gonna come, but nah. So I started feeling sick, you know, and I'm like, okay, what's this? I don't know this.
Yeah.
So fine, he's like, no, go buy a pregnancy test and see, because I know you're pregnant.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, okay, fine. I did that, and when was it? It was March. Yeah, around March. Shortly after my birthday, I found out that I'm pregnant.
What was your
I
reaction?
was screaming. I was laughing.
Were you alone when you found out?
I was in the bathroom.
Shame, man, what ran through your head?
A lot of things. You know, I was like, okay, fine, I'm keeping this baby. And then at the back of my mind,
From the get-go.
I'm like, oh, no ways, girl. You have plans. You don't have to be a mom right now.
And what made you decide to keep it?
My psychologist. Yeah, because being the only child and now you're grown, so obviously a household of 4 people, you know, it gets lonely.
Yeah.
So, and you know, personal things were just happening, conflicts and everything. So my psychologist said, this child is a blessing. You need to keep this child. This child will bring you guys together.
And how did you break the news to your family, your boyfriend of then?
Okay, he knew from the get-go, right?
Yeah.
So I was supposed to go to aviation school. I wanted to be an air hostess. So you go for medical checkup before actually being enrolled. Okay. So I went to my aunt's place because the medical center is in Centurion. So fine, I go to my aunt's place. She's gonna take me to the doctor and everything. So she took me there. I got in alone. So first things first, the doctor's like, go pee in this cup.
Oh my god.
In my mind, I'm like, no, she's checking something. She's not checking anything.
Yeah.
Fine. At that time, I knew I was pregnant. And then she comes. She's like, girl, what have you been doing? I'm like, girl, what do you mean? She's like, you're pregnant. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I know. And she's like, oh, you cannot proceed because the things that you were going to be doing in training will lead to miscarriage. And I'm like, okay. So now I'm starting to think, oh, my gosh, like, this is stopping.
Yeah, I have to find another plan.
So obviously my parents would want a report, like why
you can't go to aviation school.
Okay, so I lied. I'm like, no, simply because I had palpitations, so the ECG was, my heart rate is not okay. You know, okay, so fine. They didn't understand. My grandmother kept on calling that day. She didn't understand, like, what is wrong, why, you know. So she called my psychologist to call the doctor and ask, what is wrong?
That is extra. What?
So they called and the doctor said, no, she's pregnant. And so my psychologist handled it with a way of, okay, she's pregnant. This is a good sign, you know. This is something that is positive. Don't look at it in a way of it's crushing
her life. Yeah.
So fine, they called my grandmother. So they called my aunt. They told her that aunt, she's pregnant, don't worry. So my aunt in the morning, she's like, girl, there's 2 heartbeats. We know that you're pregnant. So my mom, I called my mom. She was out with her friends. So my aunt breaks the news. She's like, Linda's pregnant. The first thing she was like, here? And then she gave me the phone and I cried. And she's like, no, don't worry. It's going to be fine, you know.
Yeah.
Don't panic. We got this. And I'm like, okay. That's where I was okay. I was like, whatever happens, I know I'm going to be okay.
Yeah, at least you didn't have to break it to the family yourself, man. But if it wouldn't have been broken to your family like that, how would you have brought it up?
You know, my mom forever tells me that she had a scan, right? And then she wrote it down. and then she put it under her grandmother's pillow, and then she went to school. So I feel like I would have done the same thing. Yeah.
Oh man, but your announcement was like a dream, dude. Like it was just so easy. Even the way your mom reacted, some moms would. My mom, I don't know how my mom would react. I really do not know how my mother would have reacted. Even at this age, I still don't know how my mother would react. But your mom was so calm about it.
Yeah.
Your mom was so calm about it.
Parents sometimes tend to like make it like it's her, but such things happen. You cannot shield your child to that level. You need to make peace with it anytime it can happen.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah,
that's
and
true.
be calm, because at the time you are going through a lot. You don't even know what is what.
And throughout your 9 months, was it 9 months?
7.
Wow. Okay, let's rephrase. Throughout your 7 months of pregnancy, what went on through your mind as your body changed, and as you are now aware that your dream of aviation school was no longer going on? What went through Linda's mind?
It's so weird how my pregnancy was just different. 10 weeks I had a threatened miscarriage, and at that time the doctor just told me, you need to just numb yourself from everything. So things like school, I just wanted to deliver a healthy baby. I'll worry about the rest later. So I didn't really panic about my future or anything of that matter. I just wanted to give birth.
You were just focused on delivering a healthy baby.
Yeah, because with what I went through, I was like, I need to deliver this baby. Like, this baby just needs to come out alive.
And what are some of the experiences that you could share that you went through during pregnancy?
My pregnancy was hard. Like, it was never a walk in the park. These things of I wanted to do photo shoots. I wanted to show people that I'm pregnant.
Cute pregnancy cravings and whatnot.
So I didn't have that, because most of the time my mom would be like, you need to protect yourself from spiritual attacks. You need to just be calm, and not worry about anything. You don't have to tell the world that what is happening with you, So I had a threatened miscarriage, 10 weeks, right? And I was bleeding for like 7 days, right? Each and every day of it, we would go to the doctor to check if there's still a heartbeat. So, during that time, we didn't tell anyone.
Yeah.
My family members, we didn't tell anyone. Randomly, so my aunt texted me. She's like, how are you? How's the baby? And I'm like, oh my gosh, a lot is happening, And then she's like, okay, you need to start telling God what you want. You need to have a way of communicating with God now.
Speaking the safety of your child's life. Yeah.
And then she said, you need to make a covenant with God about this child. Okay, I didn't take that light, So, fine, I went through the Bible. You're like, what can I read here? And then it landed me to Luke 1.
Yeah.
Where Gabriel was telling Mary that you're going to conceive a child, you should name him Jesus, that scripture. And I was so drawn to it, and I kept on, manifesting. This child's name is, Penny. I know the gender, it's a boy. I kept on saying, my child is a boy, I don't have anything that is aligning me with a girl, So after that, it was okay for after the 10 weeks, then 5 months.
You're okay.
I was sick to the core, out of nowhere. I was sick. I was admitted in the hospital for almost 3 weeks. I was sick, and the way I was so sick, the doctors were just telling me, you need to terminate because you're gonna die. And I'm like, I'm not gonna terminate. I now know that 4 o'clock, I'm waking up, the baby's kicking. I'm bonding
you're
with this
used
child.
to it.
So in my mind, I've processed that I'm gonna give birth to this child. So you telling me I need to terminate? You're not even saying anything.
Was it a faith moment, or was it just fear of losing the connection that you already built with your child?
You know, it is so interesting how when I was admitted, I would read that scripture every day. And I would tell God that, you know what, you said I'm going to have a child, right? Yes, I see it. And it's a boy. And these people are telling me it's a girl. I know it's a boy. You know, you told me the name. So what is this? We have an agreement. So you need to pitch up your 50%.
Yeah.
I'm doing mine, do yours, you know? So it's a faith thing. I was more or less in strong faith that I'm going to be okay at the end of the day. And everyone around me was like, she's going to give birth, regardless of what.
I just love the fact that you had a great support structure. Besides other people, your mom, I just love how you explained that your mom was there for you and just making sure that you and your baby were okay. So now leading on to the moment where you gave birth, your labor and delivery, how was that for you?
Okay, since when I was sick, you know, I was in a public hospital, then I discharged myself, then we went to a private practice.
Discharged yourself? Why?
Because there was nothing that I was doing. I was not on drips.
How many months was this?
It was 6 going to 7. So I was like, let me just sign. I'm going home. If I die, it's okay.
Yeah.
So we went to the doctor, and then the doctor was like, they just needed to buy time, you know, because this baby is perfectly fine. He just needs to grow.
Yeah.
You know. So after that, we went there, and then for a week I would go to the doctor just to do scans and then come back home. So fine. The day I was due for birth, I was so scared. I thought I was gonna die because I had a C-section.
So you were told before the day of birth, okay? So
I was so scared. I was asking questions. I was asking my grandmother, what are they gonna do? What if I don't wake up? What if the baby, you know, such questions. And the only thing she said, you're gonna be fine, don't worry.
Yeah.
It won't take long, you know. So yeah, we went in, you know, I was hungry, complaining. And they did everything, and yeah, we went to theater. When we got there, they asked, what are you here for? I'm like, I came to give birth. And they're like, do you want to tie your tubes? I'm like, no.
Why would they ask you at such a young age if you want to tie your tubes?
Some people do that.
At 21?
They do.
At 21?
They do.
Tie my tubes?
Yeah.
No.
They do. Some people do.
I may say I don't want to have kids, but to go to the extent of tying my tubes at 21.
They do. A lot of them.
Wow.
Rather than me going and having birth control all the time, they just tie their tubes. They're done.
But is that a decision that's supposed to be made at 21?
I don't know.
Man.
Some people do that. And then I got in, and then I was so big. They had to inject the epidural at my spinal cord, right? So they had to pull, like 3 doctors had to pull me so that my back could pop out.
Yeah.
They injected me. So the minute that I saw, you know, those things, and I was like, hey, yo, wait, I'm in pain. They're like, you're lying. I'm like, no, I'm in pain. And they made me doze off, and I was asleep. Just woke up when everything was done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the first thing I said, where's my mom? Where's my mom?
I can just imagine. Yeah. My next question is, what was the reason to your son being born early?
I had high blood pressure, and then my liver was resisting the baby. It felt like it's a foreign object.
Yeah.
So it kept on wanting to you know. So I had to, terminate or give birth.
That is a hard situation, man. That's what they talk about when they say the strength of a woman. Imagine having to go through something in this hard. But these kind of things, they do happen, and you do pull through. So if somebody out there feels that they're going through something like this, it's you should know that yes, sometimes things may not happen exactly the way that they happened with somebody else's life, but things happen, and if it is by God's will, you will pull through, and things always just happen the way that He wants them to happen, you know. So now you are a mother, you know. You've joined the hood of motherhood. What are some of the challenges that you've faced so far as a mother? What have you had to change about yourself?
Okay, first and foremost, after giving birth, I was exhausted, like emotionally, physically. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, just wanted to sleep. And a premature baby, you need to be up every 2 hours and feed that child. But luckily, the practice that I was in, my family could be with me. I didn't have to do everything on my own. They had to help me. So I fell into depression. Okay, after giving birth, right? I had complications myself. So I was vomiting. I couldn't go to the toilet. My stomach was still growing,
Yeah.
So I was sick for a week, and then the doctor did what he did, and I was okay. Then I fell into depression, and then now I have to take care of a baby, and I don't want to do it. Like, I don't want this baby anymore. I'm tired. Like, I had a rough pregnancy. I need a break. I just felt like everyone should just, understand and do what they have to do. I'll take over at a certain
point.
My grandma was like, no, girl. This child now needs you to grow.
Yeah.
She took me to therapy as soon as I was able to walk. She took me to therapy, and the therapist told me that now your survival depends on you. You need to find a place whereby you are positive, and you need to project energy to him. Because when you're like this, it will deteriorate. His health will just go down.
Yeah.
So back to, I have to numb my feelings again. So I'm pain resistant. Whatever you say to me, it's just like, okay, fine, bye. I don't care.
Yeah. You shut yourself out.
Yes. So for almost a year, I've been doing that. Yeah. So after pregnancy, giving birth was just hard. I fell into depression. Yeah.
Do you feel like you've healed from that depression, or it's an ongoing journey?
It's an ongoing journey, because when you're like, who's that? The baby's okay, he's growing, and then 1, 2, 3, the baby's falling sick.
Yeah.
You're constantly in and out of hospitals, and there's nothing really wrong with the baby. You don't know what to do now. So I would say I've been numbing myself for the past 2 years, because after pregnancy, pain is sick, like forever sick, and I don't know what is wrong with this child.
Yeah.
No one can tell me what is wrong with this child, So I'm still numbing myself. It got to a point whereby I remember when he turned a year, shortly after that, he felt so sick, and we went to hospital. And I remember praying, and I'm like, you know what, God, I know I fought for this child to be here, and he's here, I think I'm okay with letting go, rather me seeing him cry all the time, being in pain, fighting for his life. Just take him and he'll be at peace, Ever since then, my son was never sick. He was like okay till recently now.
Dude, how did it feel, or when, like, usually when a loved one is sick, our only prayer is, God, please make this person better. God, please make this person better. How did you end up getting to a point where you said, God, I was saying, Hore, when somebody gets sick, like a loved one, we usually pray for the person to get better, and say, God, please get to this person better, heal them, give them health and a long life and whatsoever. How does it get to a point where, or how did you get to a state where you said, God, my son is sick, and I really cannot bear looking at my child in pain anymore. I'm ready to let go if that is your will. How did your heart get to that state?
I was constantly praying for like healing. You constantly pray for something and you're not seeing it. You end up giving up. You're like, okay, if this is what I'm supposed to do, I'm accepting it. Yeah. Also, it's so weird. Like you really don't know where it comes from. You really don't know where it comes from. That's why this hood is like the ghetto. You don't know.
Yet to experience motherhood. But by the way that it's being explained, man, I'm quite not sure here. But we'll see as time goes by. And how exactly I forgot to ask this previously, how exactly did pregnancy affect your relationships, friendships, family relationships, church? I have to ask that one. How did it affect those relationships?
Friendship wise, Shem, I lost a lot of friends. I couldn't trust a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because my pregnancy was linked at an early stage, and I felt like I don't need this. I need to be in a place whereby I'm very private and cautious about who I talk to, what I do. It's so weird how our church, we have this thing. It's not really, they don't criticize. They believe that, children are a blessing. If you have a child, it's a +1 for the church.
Yeah.
So they didn't really
treat it as such.
Yeah, but I really didn't even want to go to church because I just wanted to be home and away from the world.
And did you feel judged in the whole process?
I did a lot, because wow, this child who has everything, going to expensive schools, everything, is now pregnant. Like, wow.
But hey, we just go along that child to the we mean. Man.
So I was like, you know what? It affected me, but I was like, you know what? People will talk. They talk now when you're alive. They talk now when you're dead. So what is it going to do to me?
Yeah, you just have to protect your own mental being and your heart. Throughout talking about your pregnancy and so forth, I haven't heard you mention baby daddy once.
Okay.
So I want to know what his role during your pregnancy was.
He was there, Shem. Kudos to him.
Yeah.
That time he was there, like he was present. He would ask. He would tell me. Like, I would ask him questions like, if I deliver now, what would you do? Like, obviously, I know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there. Like, he was so supportive. His family was so supportive. Things just changed later.
Do you think the reality of parenthood now being there is what separated you guys?
Yeah.
And
because we're always together, so now I'm home, I'm not constantly on my phone. You know how boys are.
Yeah. Oh man, boys, please stick out for your eyes. Please stick out for your eyes. And ever since you guys separated, are you guys now co-parenting?
No.
Why? if I may ask, if it's safe for you to answer.
We have men who feel like if I can't have you, I cannot be part of the baby's life, So that was what was happening then, but you cannot force a person to partake in their child's life, You cannot do that. He needs to realize that, you know what, I brought this child, this is my share of responsibility. So you cannot force a person to do that.
Yeah. And now that you guys are not co-parenting or anything, do you ever just feel like, yo, damn, I am a single mom, like I'm doing this by myself? Or is your family supportive in such a way where you don't even feel that you are a single parent?
In all honesty, I feel like my son is my sibling.
Yeah.
Because my mom, my grandmother are just there, And fortunately enough, I was blessed to meet my partner, right? And
that's the current partner, by the way, number one.
So he really did things that my baby daddy was supposed to do. Doctor's appointment, he's there.
Yeah.
The child doesn't have this, let's go buy it. So I don't feel that I'm okay. Like, I'm not a single mom. I forever say I don't have a child. Yeah.
No, man, that is a blessing. And kudos to my best friend, because he's the now partner. Like, kudos to that nigga, man. He's stepping up, man, and I love that. I wish we had more men like that.
Yeah.
Men who'd stick up for children, even when the child is not biologically your child. But
I don't know.
That thing,
Oh,
the child it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
There's no baby version of it. There's no baby version of this. Okay, so
It takes a village to
I
raise
thought
a
there was
child.
a baby version of
No.
it. Like, I really genuinely thought there was a baby version of it. But yeah, it takes a village to raise a child, and it seems that he's become that village for you. He sticks up, and truly he treats your kid like it's his own. Like he's definitely his father, and I really genuinely love that. I wish we had men by Lahore. When they meet a woman and find her with a child, they not only love her alone, but love the kid as well. Like genuinely loving the kid and being there for the kid and being a father figure. Or even for women as well, if your partner has a child, do the same, be the same, be a mother, not forcefully, but you can't love a person without loving what is theirs. You can't love a person without loving what is fully theirs, man. So given the opportunity to start over, would you do this all over again, or would you choose a different route?
Looking at my son, and in most cases I'll be like, I'll do it all over again, just for you to be here. I'll go through it again.
That's beautiful. I wanted to ask about, what should I say? It's is it a change? I don't think it's a change. Is it a change?
It is a 360 change, that one.
Okay, she says it's a change. Your son's diagnosis with autism. I want to know what's life like after that.
With Penyo, simply because he's a premature baby, we don't expect him to do things like any other kid, right?
Yeah.
So milestones take later, like they take time. They take time to happen. So he's 2, and I'm like, okay, where's Mama? Where's Papa? Like, give me something. He's not doing that.
Yeah.
So I download that video, send it to my grandma, like, please evaluate pain. Because I feel like this is the same things that he does. My grandmother's like, nah, you're overthinking. He's not like that. My mom, I also sent it to my mom. My mom was like, no, he does the same things, right? So we start Googling, what is this? And my grandmother it only registered later that, no, something is really wrong with this child. So Pena goes for monthly checkups. So there was a time he bumped his head like twice. He would jump on the bed and then he'd fall. So my grandmother texted the doctor. Pena is doing this, is doing this, is doing this. Please just check the brain if it's fine. He did that. He was okay. But the doctor wrote very autistic because when you get to the doctor, they ask you, does he do this, does he do that, and obviously some of them is no, no, no.
Yeah.
So later on, I don't remember why we went for checkup. She still asked the same questions, and she's like, no, I wanted to tell you last year that your son has autism. And I'm like, oh, okay, I know, because I figured that he's not
Somehow,
behaving the way he's supposed to. And then, fine, she referred us to a doctor. But during the waiting period of the appointment, I would Google, like, what do you do? How do they behave? And I would monitor him, like his patterns. And I knew by the time we went to the doctor, she was just explaining, this is what is happening, and this is how he is, but you need to, it's a matter of toning it down, and I think normal for me, it's not normal. Because if I see a kid not doing what my son does, I'm like, what is wrong with this kid? Yeah, so because I'm used to him, being all over the place. So a kid who just sits there, I'm like, no, something is wrong with this child.
Yeah. And how's life with having an autistic child?
It's very hard, because you cannot do what you want to do at a specific time or whenever you feel like it. Because, autistic kids are routine kids, they know that I'm waking up at 6, I'm eating, and if the routine is messed up, it's a tough one. So Pena is one person that knows 6 o'clock my mom is home. So after 6 he doesn't see me, cries. Those temper tantrums. So it's kind of stressful because we're trying to make him understand that we also have our lives, You need to understand that it comes a time whereby we're not around. I cannot always be around you all the time. And it's hard. I don't want to lie, but thank God for my partner.
Yeah.
We understand it. We understand it very well.
Yeah.
Even though we tell ourselves, no, he needs to get used to it. He needs to know that this happens. This is what is happening.
And if mom's not there, somebody else is.
Yes. Right.
And what are before diagnosis? What are some of the symptoms that you could share, just so that other parents could maybe look into, or if maybe they see the same signs in their kids, they could maybe go to a doctor and get professional advice.
Delay of speech. They don't talk. They don't give you words. If they do, it's just for that moment and then they're done. They pace a lot. They like playing alone. They are obsessed, like they have this crazy obsession with something. Normally it's things that spin or texture things, soft things. and they throw temper tantrums a lot.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that is the severe one, but they throw temper tantrums. They don't sleep on time. They have this weird pattern. And also they don't eat healthy. Like they're sweet eaters, or they just want that one thing. You don't have to give him, like, let's say pap and mashed potato. He doesn't want that. So those are the symptoms. Yeah. And they're too much hyperactive, those people.
Yeah, your son is energetic. Like, your son has the best energy in the whole world, and he loves playing by himself. Like, I
Yeah.
enjoy how happy he looks when he plays by himself. But through motherhood, I agree there's mistakes and hindrances and all of that. Are there things that you wish you would have done differently or better or lesser throughout your journey of motherhood?
Sometimes recently I was telling my partner, I'm like, if Penyo decides to be a druggie, I'm gonna strangle him. Hey, because I've done everything, like everything. There's no one. I forever tell everyone that there's no one that is supposed to judge my parenting skills. I'm the best mom in the market. Given my age and looking at my peers and how they mother their kids, I'm fine. Like, Penyo is one person I know for a fact. Even if now I'm more selfish about me, he must know that, bruh.
My mom did the best.
Yeah, she was there. Sleepless nights, hospitals, she was there. If anything happens to me, she's there. So I don't want to change anything. I feel like I'm the perfect mom because, wow, it's been a lot.
Do you believe that Linda exists out of being Penyo's mom? Do you believe there's individualism in motherhood?
Okay, with me, I feel like I'm still learning, or I'm still self-discovering Linda, besides being Penny's mom, because for the past 3 years I've been Linda Malatji. Yeah. So now getting to, let loose and explore who is this person, the person, because I left Linda when she was 21. Now she's in a different age and she's in her young adulthood. So who's this person? What does she like? What does she want to do? How does she want to live her life? How does she make her decisions? Where does she go wrong? How does she learn her lessons? I'm still discovering myself.
Okay. Since you put on hold your dream of aviation to pregnancy, is that dream still there, or has it changed completely?
It's changed completely.
It's changed completely.
Yeah.
Damn, man. But I believe it's changed for the better.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, and there's definitely a girl out there who's going through pregnancy and either pregnancy or challenges of motherhood, probably maybe at the same age that you fell pregnant at, or an age younger, or even at 24, whatsoever. What advice would you give them on going into motherhood?
People like to portray motherhood as this perfect land, this perfect, you take pictures, it's all nice and kudos.
I say that to my brother's girlfriend all the time, like, dude, you make motherhood seem like a walk in the park,
It's not.
She takes amazing pictures, videos all the time, and she just makes it look rosy.
It's not. So don't be hard on yourself, Take it as it is. There's no formula to it. There isn't. You're doing a great job. If people feel like you're not doing this, you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Because people will be like,
Excuse.
oh my God. There is no formula to it. So don't be hard on yourself. You're doing good. Because what you're not doing, she probably didn't do what you're doing.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Like,
Yeah.
don't forever take anyone's advice and be like, I'm a bad mom. I'm a bad mom. So you're doing good. Raise your child the way you want to raise your child.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's your product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One last thing. If you were to say something to Penyo as an adult when he grows up, what's one message that you would leave for him now?
Yo, you know, my son. Yo, every time I think about you, I get emotional. You know, naming you pain, it is a prophecy, you know, and your grandmother naming you Mupuluri is also a prophecy.
Wait, what's the other name?
Mupuluri. It's one and the same.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
So, your name should define you. Anything that comes into your life, just know your name will stand out. Pain, you will overcome it, and you will pull over.
Yeah.
You know, and don't let anyone tell you you're different. You know, you're unique. That's how God wanted you to be. You know, and just take the world as it is. Don't be hard on yourself, my child. You'll go through things in life, but remember what my mom named me paying for a good cause. It's a prophecy in my life, and take God with you. Like that's where I'm gonna, tell you, take God with you, and your name will surely prevail for you, my child.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what, whatever you face, but you'll fail. There's nothing impossible to overcome.
Oh man, that is beautiful. I believe Penyo means defeater. Defeater, victory.
Yeah,
victory. Oh man, that was really beautiful. I wish I could leave a message like that someday. Like someday when I enter that third of motherhood. But yeah, man, that was really beautiful coming from you, and having heard everything that you said. The major thing about this podcast is for people to grasp whatever information it is that you grasp, to grasp whatever strength it is that you can grasp from this podcast, and whatever information that can help you, uplift you, whatsoever. And this is just to show what in motherhood there's hurdles, man. There's ups and downs. Nothing is perfect, nothing is rosy, as you've heard through Linda's journey. But whatever it is that you're going through during your pregnancy or motherhood or whatever, you will prevail. You will prevail. And there's something that I always say to myself, and my dad has always said to me when I grew up, is that challenges can never be brought to your life if you cannot go through them, if you cannot overcome them. If something comes along to your life, it means that you're strong enough to handle it, It means you're strong enough to handle it, and everything that happens in your life leads on to a certain moment that is coming. So whatever challenge that you're going through in motherhood, in relationships, in life, whatever that challenge is, it's meant to make you greater somewhere else. It's meant to uplift you in another moment in your life in the future. So I wish all the best to you and to all the mothers out there, and a big kudos to moms of autistic kids. I feel like you guys are heroes, basically. You guys are heroes, man. As you explained, sometimes your child freaks out to certain things. Now I'm sensitive, guys, and I feel like I would cry with my child,
And you won't.
I feel like I would cry with my child. I feel like I'd lock myself in a room and cry before I attend to them or something. I don't know. But I guess we can't really judge a situation if you haven't been in it. But yeah, thank you so much, Linda. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. And I really hope that it changes somebody's life out there. And as you also go through navigating Linda out of Penyo's mom, I wish you all the best. And I wish your son the best of growth as well, and love and more joy than he has now, because your kid is a happy bird. your son is a happy child, you know. I wish him more of that, and I wish you more of love and good luck on your relationship with my best friend. Yeah, man, I just wish you all the best. And yeah, so to everybody that's watching, I thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Engaged with Linda, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Please do make sure that you do subscribe to our channel, like the episode, share it with everybody because it might help somebody out there. And up until the next episode, I love you guys. Make sure to subscribe, like, share, and follow our Instagram. Up until next time, this has been Engaged. Bye.
Woohoo!